And I hope my internet doesn't mess up. What's good, everyone? Hope everybody is doing well, is having a great week so far. All the beautiful people. I'm here with my girl, AK, and the other T Baby and Lady D may or may not join us later. Life. So we'll wait and see. But for right now, it's gonna be me and AK holding it down for the Mad Queen. So I'm gonna let her go ahead and say hello and talk about anything that she needs to talk about before we get started.
What it do, my folks? Always good to see everyone in the spot. Give me a second. I was just running through the chat to give some shout outs. Speaking of which, I'll just do that right now. Always got the awesome Salsa K is in the spot. Apparently Human, Catherine, welcome. Sam, Santavia is in the spot. Bravosi, believe Phil H just jumped in. I see Spots was good, my guy. Scott McCloy, Steve York. I think I saw Vanessa Amnesty's name up here earlier. Lancy T, the lady of the blankets, keeping the realm warm one blanket at a time. Bless you for your work, my lady. COTDA is in here. I'm pretty sure Chrissy's probably going to stop in later. House of Lorebridge, what's going on? Thank you, folks, for joining us. As Monero said, I got a few things actually coming up. First off, she's probably going to plug it, but I'm going to plug it doubly so because it's ginger ale coming up this weekend, y'all. And you know how we get when the ginger ale starts flowing. So come ready. Bring your own bottles and your werewoods and all of your shades of the evenings and all of that good stuff. Because, yeah, we drinking. There's no other way to put it. You know what's going to happen. And to see next week, Wednesday, I believe, on In Deep Geeks channel, me and him had a lovely conversation over the weekend about the Iron Bank and some of their random inner workings. So he'll be posting that next Wednesday, I believe, on his channel. Next month, I will be hanging out with Nessie. I know you guys know her from the Here Be Dragons channel. Me and her are going to talk about some sphinxes on, I think it's July 15th is coming up. And at some point, we don't have a date yet, but me and Gray are going to sit and talk about one of the Arya chapters because, you know, Arya is like our number one girl. So we got to show some love. Besides that, I don't have a whole lot booked, but hopefully that'll change. Y'all know I'm always around. So Monero, what's up with you?
Dang, I gotta put all this stuff on a calendar.
I mean, hold on. Actually, first of all, y'all see, look at that face over there. Look, you see that there? Which way? There. Y'all see how they be coming out, man? This epic glow up that my sisters be having. Then I'm just over here looking like a scrub half the time. But I don't mind it. I don't mind being associated on the webs with all the beautiful ladies. You know, AK enjoys that type of thing. So carry on.
Thank you, AK. What do I got coming up? Ginger ale, as AK already mentioned, we're going to be having ginger ale chat this Saturday at, I think I have it scheduled for like 8 or 9. I don't remember. Just turn your notifications on. You'll know. You'll see. I'm gonna post it up tonight after the chat, so we'll know definitely what time. And we will be having special guests, I believe. So make sure you come through so you can see who the special guests are gonna be.
And I mean, just the hint, y'all. You're gonna like this. They've been in the game for a while. I don't know why we didn't think to have them on before. Honestly, it's gonna be some giggles. That's all I'm saying. Don't miss it. You'll be mad.
Also, I want to do some shout outs before I forget. The first person that I want to shout out is House Lorebridge. She put out a video a couple of days, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. I did watch it today though. But OTDA did send me a link to go and watch it because she was a premiere to be on the chat, but I was having a moment, and so I had taken a electronic break. So I missed the premiere, so I was able to watch it today. If you have not, please go to her channel, subscribe, watch her video. It's on Littlefinger. It is it's a good video. It's an actually good video. I enjoyed it, and she had a really good analysis. So I please just go over there, show her some love. You're gonna love the video. And that's all I got to say about that. Also, I also wanted to send a shout out to Joe Magician and Teflon TV because both Nessa and Steven Starr from Here Be the Dragons did reach out to me and had they said that they wanted to work with me to do a discussion on The Expanse. So I just wanted to, and they said that they heard from me through Joe Magician and Teflon TV. So I wanted to shout them out and say thank you to them for that. And in continuing in remembering, my thoughts are getting a little too racy. Let me take a minute. I just want to mention the name of Oluwatoyin Salao. She is a 19-year-old Black woman who was murdered last week. And I just wanted to mention her name. Just be prepared that there might be another Let's Talk coming up because I have a lot of things that are on my chest that I need to get out. As a Black woman in America, I would be remiss if I didn't do a Let's Talk, and if I didn't use my platform to use it to speak on that topic. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, if you're easily triggered, that may not be the video for you to come and watch. I'm just gonna put that out there. I just want it to be known. If you are somebody whose feelings or probably gets easily hurt, or you are easily triggered, especially when it comes to the topic of race, you may not want to come and watch that video. That's all I'm going to say about that. What else? Oh, I have also scheduled the movie night. I created an account on Discord. I will be putting a link to that on the Ginger Ale chat. So when Ginger Ale chat goes up on Saturday, there will be a link for my Discord for you to sign up to be a member in my Discord group. And from that and as soon as you become a member, right, I will be putting the link for the stream for the movie night, which will be happening the last Friday of June. I believe it's the 26th of June. So if you want to participate, I will say it again on Ginger Ale chat, but I will be putting a link. And I want to thank Lady Alif Underhill for giving me that suggestion. So movie night, the last Friday, we're going to be watching Space Force. Get you some pizza, get you something to drink. We'll probably do a little bit of commentary, and then I plan to start the movie like around 9, but I'll be sending out the stream to get everybody in between 8 and 8:15. And that way between 8:15 to 9 o'clock, people can come in. We can just talk and chat, whatnot, before we get the movie started. Okay. And I think that is all. Oh, and Sunday we will be doing Expanse season 3. So I think I have that scheduled for 1 p.m. on Sunday. So we'll be doing Expanse season 3 on Sunday at 1 p.m. Okay.
There's also one thing that I forgot. I will be on with Citadel of Trivia on Friday. And I've actually been extended an upgrade. I'm gonna be on there for to pick up with Chrissy, Ben, and Felicia full time now. So we'll be in there cutting up. Come and enjoy the questions. It'll be fun.
I'm gonna make sure we go out and do these announcements again at the end of this video. Lady B, go ahead and say hi to the folks and let them know if there's anything that they should be expecting from you coming up.
Hey guys, actually, hey, hello everybody, 1 and 2. Yeah, I owe you guys Stannis Part 2, so I'm thinking I might just hop on here maybe tomorrow or something during lunchtime and just read it, and then schedule something with the girls later so that we can actually have a discussion on it. But that way, information's out there, because I got some questions on my channel and I want to answer them. So look out for Stannis Part 2 and possibly a read-through of the Iron Bank Theory, just so that we have it.
Yes.
I have no idea what that was, but we're just gonna go with it. Okay, let's get started because we to pieces. Okay, so we're gonna be continuing on our conversation, and so to just briefly, we're gonna go over and do Tyget Lannister and Gerion Lannister because they're just like honorable mentions in the story. So we're just gonna like kind of give a brief overview of those two. Now the one person that I don't know if they're gonna have like some part to play later on in the story because they're technically MIA. We don't know if they're really dead, and that's Gerion. But Tyget for sure, we know he's dead. So Tyget was brother number 3, and he is the father of Joanna. I think her name was Joanna Hill. Joanna Hill was the one that was Joy Hill. Thank you, Joy Hill. And Joy Hill was the one, if you guys remember in A Feast for Crows, when Jane Westerling's mom was talking about that Tywin had promised matches or weddings or whatever the case may be, however you want to call it. I'm not being very technical right now. For her kids, Joy Hill, Jamie mentioned that Joy Hill would be the one that would be betrothed to, I believe, her son Reynold. I believe it was Reynold Westerling, and she got all up in arms because Joy Hill is the natural born daughter of Tyget. No, not Tyget. Is it Tyget or Gerion?
I believe it's Gerion.
Yeah, if Gerion. He is the she is the natural born daughter of Gerion. Tyrick is the son of Tyget, and Tyrick is the one who is MIA as of the bread riots that happened in King's Landing. If y'all recall, I believe that was in the second book. Is it A Storm of Swords is the second book, or A Clash of Kings is the second book? I get them all mixed up.
I want to say it's Storm, but it's been a while. I could be getting it mixed up too.
I believe it was A Storm of Swords. Y'all will correct me in the chat.
Right, yeah, chat room. Y'all get us together.
Y'all correct me. Anyway, it happened. I know it was the book whenever the Blackwater, and it's the second book. I know it's the second book. A Clash of Kings. Thank you, Sasuke. You're awesome. Thank you. So he goes missing during the bread riots.
This.
And I promise y'all, I haven't been drinking no ginger ale today.
The lies.
I have not drank any ginger ale today. Anywho, he goes missing, And I believe in A Feast for Crows, it was, Jamie is having a conversation with himself where he says that he thinks that Varys might have taken Tyrek for his own nefarious purposes or anything like that, or he believes that he was kidnapped by Varys. And there is a theory out there that may be true that Varys did indeed take Tyrek. I don't really know much about the theory, but I know that there is a theory out there that exists about Varys being involved in the fact that Tyrek is missing. So,
I don't know the whole theory, but I did hear one part of it actually earlier in the stream today. He supposedly is whoever the blonde that Arya sees at the House of Black and White. So I haven't looked into it, haven't had time to yet, but it's an intriguing thought.
I would have to go back and, I really want to go back and read that chapter anyway, because the discussion that was had when we were talking about the Iron Bank and the involvement of the House of Black and White. I want to go back and read the Arya chapters of when she is in the House of Black and White, because I was listening to Radio Westeros and they were they have their part 2 journeys, and they were talking specifically about Arya, and they dropped some things that I totally missed. And so I really want to go back and reread those chapters, so it kind of coincides with the conversation that Lady B had sparked with respect to the Iron Bank and how it led into the House of, these things, they just all interrelate. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
I just had to say, the chapters of the House of Black and White are some of my favorite chapters. They really are. They're chock full of all kinds of stuff, y'all, from all around Planet Coast. My favorite chapters. And then when she goes down and they go into the vault, those 3 tiers, man, it's just so much there. The structure of Bravos politically and economically, socially, it's everything is repeated in 3s, it seems, and it's really very, very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, so there's not really much to talk about Tyget. Tyget was a knight, and he died of smallpox. I mean,
let's not skip completely over Sir.
He doesn't. I mean, he has a lot of honorary mentions. He does. He was at odds. I mean, he didn't. He was he's like the 3rd brother, so he probably has middle child syndrome, because he's trying to have, he's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to set himself apart and not live under Tywin's shadow, because Tywin is the oldest, and so it makes him a little sour.
He channeled that, I think, into some pretty decent things, though, and why I say not to skirt over him, because he was a bit of a badass, actually. When the War for the 9 Penny Kings was going down, all the 3 oldest brothers, Tywin, Kevan, and Sir Tyget here, all fought in that war. During that war is when Kevan and Tywin got their knighthoods. The only reason that Tyget didn't get one was because he was 10. Think about that. This motherfucker was on the battlefield making a name for himself at 10 years old. Jaime Lannister thinks he's a child prodigy. Fuck him. What's the number 1 most young badass that we hear about? Wasn't it Bittersteel?
Baratheon, tell me.
Yeah, but Bittersteel and
Damon Blackfire was another one. I mean, he was knighted at what, 12, 14, something like that.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. He was knighted at 12. Tyget was doing shit at 10. It's only because of the age number that he did not get a knighthood then. And I think that's a pretty damn badass. You know, Barristan the Bold is the shit. We all know, and I fully agree. But he made a name for himself first being noticed at tourneys. This kid made a name for himself in the trenches. That's kind of cool to me.
Yeah, but he dead though.
I mean, he dead. True enough, he dead.
Let me not be petty. Let me not be petty. Everything that AK said is absolutely true. Everything that AK said is absolutely. This little dude. Well, I can't call him little, but when he was a little dude, he did make a name for himself in the War of the Nine Penny Case, and it was because of his age that they did not knight him. He was too young. He was considered too young.
Y'all know what I was doing when I was 10? I was sitting on the couch Saturday mornings and eating some cereal and watching X-Men cartoons. I ain't know shit about going outside and swinging a sword and fighting in a damn war. I'm just saying. Yeah, he dead now. You know, he didn't leave too many big ripples. But those few accomplishments I think are cool.
Well, he did leave a legacy. He did leave his son Tyrick behind. And Tyrick is one of those mysteries in the Game of Thrones that I don't know if it will be ever solved. It probably might be one of those unsolved mysteries. Kind of like Who's Cold Hand might be one of those unsolved mysteries. It's just one of those things that you just may have to accept is. But if he does happen to come back, he could potentially be he may potentially be the heir at Casterly Rock. Because if the prophecy that Maggie the Frog spoke holds true, Cersei's gonna bite it. We don't know what the end result is gonna be for Tyrion. Jamie, I don't see Jamie making it out of here. I don't see him making it out of here. And Kevin's already gone, and I don't know what will become of Lancel.
Lancel's gonna die. Even if Lancel doesn't die, he's going fucking off somewhere to go hug trees or something. That boy ain't coming back to run nobody's anything. But the fun tinfoil that is in my head now, because I heard that theory earlier about this kid maybe being at the House of Black and White. If you want to talk about magic kings that might end up on thrones and stuff, you know, you got Bran the Broken with his epic green sightness, and you know, in the north we got the Child of Ice and Fire still lurking around behind the wall. Sansa, who arguably I think still does have some of that magic in her blood, is just utilized in a different way, but whatever, she's gonna be in the north. And then you head to the Westerlands and you got a trained faceless man in charge of shit. That could be some interesting stories right there.
Listen, it wouldn't be too far-fetched if Varys actually did take this kid and is training him up to serve his own purpose. Kind of like Fagon, right? If you believe that Fagon is actually a Blackfire, and the whole thing with Varys trying to seek a Blackfire because Varys is a Blackfire. If you believe that whole that theory and that whole thing, it could very well be that he might be using Tyrick for a particular purpose, because Varys in his own way was kind of like a Bloodraven. It's kind of like Bloodraven in his own way. He's doing things because he is thinking of the greater good of the realm. The way he goes, but he's a ends justifies the means type of guy. That's how I read him. That's how I view him. But we're not here to talk about Varys.
I will say though, I like the tinfoil theory, because it's fitting, especially where Varys is concerned. Varys is basically, what's his name? Baron Harkonnen from Dune. plans within plans within plans of wrecking shop and causing chaos and taking down your enemies strategically wherever you want to. So, you know, again, just a random fun tinfoil. But moving on, that's pretty much the extent of Tyget.
Oh, Sasuke just made a point about Aunt Jenna. I don't think Aunt Jenna would have a claim because she's married to Emmon. Is it Emmon Frey? I believe she's married to.
It's one of them.
So
Freys.
She doesn't get a claim to Castle Rock. It would go to the next male heir, and technically it would be Tyrion. But we don't know if Tyrion is going to make it out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know what the show did, but I don't know what the book is going to do. Okay, so right. I don't know if Tyrion is going to make it out of this whole thing, and if he doesn't, Tyrick Lannister is going to be the next male heir, because again, I don't know what's going on with Lancel either. I don't see Lancel making it out either. I mean, he's like a faith militant.
Yeah, pretty much all of them are going to die. They're already. They just don't know it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen with those two. So Tyrick, if he ever comes, miraculously reappears into, the Westerosi realm, he, in fact, would be the heir to Castle Rock. And if Varys actually has him, he can, like, I don't know if brainwash is the right word to use or the right terminology, but he can groom him in such a way where he can manipulate him to kind of see things Varys's way. Because he's still a kid. I think he's like, 12, 13 at the time that he goes missing. Because it was him and Lancel that was Robert's squire. So he was actually around at the time that Robert died. So he is a witness to. So he could have been considered a liability. He could have been considered a liability depending on who you're talking to, but he's also a pawn.
If he is by chance at the House of Black and White, QAK's tinfoil, I could see, like you said, he's young. He can still be molded. Varys might have a plan for him, but Faceless Men don't operate with other people's plans. They operate with their own. So yeah, he might magically poof and pop up out the blue with Arya on some other shit, and we don't know what that might be. Not that Arya would readily align with a Lannister, but we're talking about a faceless Lannister who's really only half Lannister. He's a bastard. Arya likes bastards. Just saying. Tinfoil over.
So there we have it for Tyget Lannister. Lady D, do you have anything you want to add about Tyget before we move on to Gerion? She might be on a baby break, so yeah. We'll let her come. When she comes back, she could just jump in. Okay, so let's move on to Gerion, right? Now, Gerion is the baby boy of the family.
Gerion is my favorite. I really think Gerion's my favorite out of all of them. He's a very little talked about character. Like Monero said, him and Tyget are only, thought of sporadically. But he's interesting. The show plays up a lot that Jaime was like the only one that was kind to Tyrion as a child. That's not true. Both Tyget and Gerion actually were very kind to Tyrion. Gerion especially. Tyrion's a jokester. He gets all that shit from Gerion. His acrobatics. Gerion is who taught him all of them tumbling tricks. For all of the way his bones be hurting him when he walks sometimes. He's a hell of an acrobat. If you're reading about some of the random shit that he does when he's in his antics. All of that came from Gerion. He was easy to laugh. The damn ship he sailed off into what was called the Laughing Lion. Like, he was known just to be a jokester. And when you put like him and Tyget and then you compare them to Tywin and Kevan, you can see the vast like differences in these personalities. You know, like I said, Tigger was a badass, but you know, he seemed like a decent natured guy, and I gauged that really in his treatment of Tyrion. Same with Gerion. You know, they were two. There's two small little blips in the history of House Lannister, but I think their blips are big enough that they do get as many honorable mentions as they do. And I kind of wish they had more. You know, Gerion went off on this fun quest to go and find the lost sword of Bright Roar that House Lannister lost, and I'm trying to figure out how the hell. Oh no! It wasn't in any battle or anything. I think someone else had gone off on an adventure, and he took the sword with him, or something like that. And then that's how it got lost, because that person never came back with it. I don't remember who it was. Y'all in chat room, if y'all remember, put it in there and remind me. But I would have loved to read a small story just about the things that he encountered, because he was going like all through to Volantis when Tywin did actually send out people to try to find him and the sword. They tracked him all the way to Volantis, so he got far. His crew, most of his crew, which I have to say all of his crew were bullshit, because Gerion just never seemed the type of person to be real secretive or, you know, do any type of cloak and dagger stuff. So when you got hired on to go on this voyage, you knew exactly where you were going. You knew he was going to try to find this sword, and you know this sword was probably in the middle of the damn smoking sea, right around Old Valyria. You knew that's where you were going, but then you bail on your lord that put you on this boat. So Gerion, I mean, of course he's Lannister. He's still got money. So he bought a bunch of slaves to fill those spots, and as far as we know, they went on, but we don't know where they stopped or if they're actually dead. You know, there's a theory of Gerion, I believe, being the Shrouded Lord, because when Tyrion has his weird episode with the Stonemen and whatnot, I believe he sees someone that's talking to him, and he for some reason the face looks to him like his uncle Gerion, which I don't know, maybe Gerion did get, you know, screwed up. You know, it's a lot of grayscale going around Old Valyria, and he probably did make it there, and probably, you know, got somebody that wanted to pull a Jorah and didn't know how to not touch it. He basically got the clap. You know, you can't get rid of that shit, so he's stuck there now. But what I mean, what can you do? Again, I still say all them people that was on the boat with them are some fuck shit. Because I'm sorry, if I'm your lord and I put you on a damn boat, you going all the fucking way with me. Okay, there's no deserting at all. But that's basically the flip of Gerion. My bad. Go ahead, Lady D.
I said, damn that. If I get on a boat and it's like, oh, we're going on wherever. Okay, cool. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, nah. Joke's on y'all. I'm actually trying to go someplace dangerous where we could all die. Damn, now I'm going back home, bro. Like, I'm not signed up for this. I thought we were doing something else. Adventure. What I was not ready for was to get grayscale and end up in the smoking sea and die. Like,
but they knew that's where they were going, though.
But how do you know that? Like, who signs up for that and says, yes, I agree?
He said that the quest was to go and find the Lannister sword and whatever adventures they can find.
But how you know the Lannister sword? Like, you see what I'm saying? You said
Gerion was tracking wherever he thought he needed to track. Man. That's all I'm saying.
And that's exactly why he got the oh hell no and the hell on, because you said that we was going to your grandmama's house to look for a butter knife, and now we are somewhere else. Like, I don't
grandma's house.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about ancestors, like we looking for ancestral stuff that belong to your grandmama. Yeah. And now, so we going for your grandma butter knife, and we got to die for this? No, Lord or not, Lord or not, catch me, bro, catch me. No, sorry, no.
I'm gonna have to agree with. Listen,
I mean, I see where y'all coming from. I'm just saying that's fucked up, man. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, look, they didn't sign up. They did not sign up for the eternal ride. That's not what they signed up for. They were just trying to make some coin and then go back home, go to the laughing tree and drink up, and you know what I mean, be merry.
Right. I did not sign up for the rest of this. I ain't signed up for the rest of this. That's all I'm trying to say. They out there like, this is not what I signed up for. I put my name on the dotted line for adventure, not certain death. Certain death is completely different from adventure, bro. That's two different things. It's not the same. So I can see, people feeling that way. I'm sorry, AK. I'm just,
Nah.
Listen, I'm loyal until you like, let's do something to kill you. Wait. What'd you say? No. No.
I mean, I understand it. I understand it. I respect it. Bravosi Broadcast said Gerion equals Odysseus.
But Odysseus made it back home, though.
Yeah, Odysseus made it back home.
Gerion is still out here in these Valyrian streets.
Right, he is deep in the old Valyria streets. He's probably the laughing lion, stone lion of freaking old Valyria right now.
But I find it, what I learned through Gerion is about Brightrock. Before that, we didn't know that the Lannisters actually had a Valyrian steel sword until they mentioned Gerion going out to look for it. So we find out that they had it, and which I'm sure is probably killing Tywin. That it killed him. Which
why he made 2 swords out of ice? Because that
he was petty.
He's like, oh, y'all thought we had none, right? We Lannisters and we have the best, so y'all motherfuckers only have 1. Now I got 2, bitch. What?
Yeah, but it wasn't yours to begin with. You had it. You had to wait until somebody like got treacherously killed.
Right, you didn't even win it. Honestly,
all in well, but it wasn't technically yours. It was actually technically somebody else's, and then you just happened to benefit from the fact that they got killed by your grandson, and then you were able to make a two house swords, which one ended up going back anyway, and the other one. The
other one was just a waste. Why would you give Joffrey a badass weapon like that? This little asshole couldn't defend himself properly against a 9-year-old girl. Why the fuck would you give him Valyrian steel? Such a waste.
In the book, Sansa has it, right? Sansa has it.
No. No. Well, there's a theory that the widow's wail might have been in the tapestries that were sent over to the Vale that Littlefinger has, because I think he was walking around with, I can't remember who it was, and they happened to mention that the tapestries that Robert had, they were I think Cersei got rid of them all after he died, and I think Littlefinger actually got those tapestries, and it is said, or it is rumored, that the Valyrian steel sword, well, the widow's wail, which was Joffrey's sword, might have been part of that cargo included in those tapestries. That's what it said, but we don't know that for sure. That's just a rumor that is, that's just been put around.
That's an interesting rumor. I think I missed that when I was reading it, and that stands to reason that if some random things do come to pass, that sword, we know Sansa's not wielding a sword. I think it would be badass if she did.
That's the thing. The thing is, if we follow along with a lot of people who believe this, that Sansa will be the knight of Littlefinger, it could very well be she may use Widow's Wail, which is technically made from her father's sword Ice, to punish Littlefinger. And again, if you're just coming in now and you wasn't here when I first said it, please go watch House Warbridge video on Littlefinger, because she made a very excellent point, and I hope she doesn't mind me just like giving this little sneak peek, but I want y'all to go watch her video anyway. She makes an excellent point that how things went on the show there might be a version of it for Littlefinger in the books, but except it won't be happening at Winterfell, but more than likely it will be happening at the Gates of the Moon. So please go watch her video. She explained it way better than I could. Just go watch her video. Okay.
Chrissy, if you could please drop that link in the chat. Shout out Stephanie, y'all check out all of Casey's stuff, man. She's good people. And Joe Magician, I see you in the chat, my brother. Thank you for coming through. Always good to chat with you. What what was I about to say? Oh yeah, but if Sansa doesn't get that sword, you know, that again is another weapon that could end up in Arya's hands, which would be fitting. Although for Arya, I feel like it would be more fitting that, you know, when Bran comes out that cave, Dark Sister comes with him and Arya gets that sword. I think that's a lot more fitting. And I like that they gave Arya the cat's paw in the show, because the random tinfoil I have with that is, you know, swords and daggers usually came in a set back in the day. If you look at the cat's paw, it looks like it could be matched with Dark Sister, how it's described in the book. More tinfoil. You're muted, Monero. We can't hear you. You did it again.
Am I on?
Yes, we hear you now.
One of these days, I will get my life together. It's just not today. It's just not going to be today, and y'all just going to have to bear with me. Okay? Yeah. So we learn the one good thing about these honorable mentions that we get. We learn a few things about some of the Lannister history when they make these honorable mentions of both Tyget and Gerion. But the real person that I really, really want to get to is Kevan, because there is a lot to unpack with Kevan. Because with Kevan, we know that he's brother number 2. He comes right after Tywin, right? So according to their sister Gemma, he makes his place with under Tywin because he knew that he could never be as good as Tywin, but he could make a place under Tywin, and he does. He becomes like a very close, like Tywin's like number 2. Like he always has, you know, he always involves him in everything that any plans that he's making. He always has Kevan there at his side. So Kevan, in a sense, becomes his literal and technical number 2. So, but throughout everything that's going on in the Game of Thrones, we really get to see how Kevan really is as an individual and where he actually makes his mark after Tywin dies, right? And that's when we start getting the point of view from Cersei's, because we get a lot of Kevan from Cersei's point of view. I mean, we get a little bit through Tyrion, we get a little bit through Jaime, but we mostly get a lot of Kevan through Cersei in A Feast for Crows. So what are your thoughts with respect to how Kevan stepped up once Tywin died? I'll start with Lady D because we haven't heard much from her. She might have stepped away. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's probably tackling Sanaa at the moment. But for Kevan, he basically did, you know, exactly what Jaime Lannister said he was gonna do. Now you good, Lady D, we got you. He made his place by Tywin, you know, and Tywin cast a large shadow for like anyone that will come after him to fill. And you know, Tyget, he tried to make his own shadow. Gerion didn't give a damn about the shadow. He just said, you know what, I'm like the last son. I ain't really gonna have too much going on anyway, so I'm gonna sit here and laugh and enjoy myself. I respect that about that man. But Kevan, you know, he's the second oldest, you know, arguably probably the closest confidant that Tywin ever had besides Joanna. And he, you know, he basically did what he was trained to do. You know, he honestly, I almost feel it's slightly arguably controversial. I don't know, because y'all know how much I love House Stark. But I feel like Kevan got the second son training that Ned should have got, but didn't. If that makes sense, to put it like that. Because yeah, Ned stepped up when it came time, when you know, he had to take that torch as Lord and whatnot. But Kevan, it seems he was actually given the tools to do that with. You know, he wasn't just took, it wasn't something that came about randomly by chance, I guess, at such a young age. He is already very seasoned in running things. You know, while Tywin was Hand, yeah, he was still Lord of Casterly Rock, but it was Kevan. Oh.
No, finish your thought, and then I'm a caveat what you said.
Okay. But, you know, it was Kevan that was still at home at Casterly Rock, you know, making sure everything ran smoothly. And, you know, to see him have to come in now, you know, where the land is in turmoil and, you know, Tywin's the Hand, but he's not there. He's gone now and things are breaking down. Kevan stepped up in a big way, and everything he was doing was making things better, which is really screwed up because that's the reason he was killed, because he was making things better too soon. It wasn't on the timetable that Varys and Illyria wanted. So he had to, there was no way to just curb Kevan in any way, shape, or form. Kevan is basically the Tywin clone. He is everything that Cersei thought she was, pretty much. He, you know, Kevan is like Monero said, the true number 2 of Tywin, and he got in there and was doing the job. But because he did it so well so quickly, he had to be taken out. You know, Littlefinger isn't the only one that thrives on chaos. Sadly, because I really did like Kevan. He was a good character.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lady D.
I'm just all right. So I'm here and like I'm in between, right? So what am I? It's you want to go through all the brothers just real quick? Like, is that what y'all did?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so obviously everybody has mommy issues. Everybody got some type of mommy issues. Like, I don't care. They all got mommy issues. Kevan clearly has mommy and daddy issues like Tywin. But I think what it is that Tywin was the mouthpiece. And so they all looked at Tywin as their protector. And so I think that for Kevan, for Kevan, Gemma, Tyget, and then the one good one, Gerion or whatever, I think that they all kind of looked at him as their protector. When there was a quote in the book where Emma was talking to Jamie, she was just like, well, who's going to protect us now? You know, like what's going to happen? So I think that they all kind of grew up with that thought process. I think that Kevan grew up believing that he had a extreme loyalty to Tywin and had to have that. And so not only was he his closest confidant, but I mean, damn, you're a Lannister, you're rich, and you did not try to buy lands. You are not trying to hold even a keep of your own, nothing. You're like, nope, I'm not even trying to be a landed knight. I'll just be a knight and serve House Lannister, which is basically my big brother. And you do that, you know, for your entire life, basically. Like that is something. Emma, we really don't know much about her, so there's that. Tyget and Gerion, I feel like those two, because they were younger, and I don't believe that they were, how can I say it? You can be, I'm 11 years younger than my sister, right? And so even though I was alive with my tiny wildling, yay! Even though I was alive, you know, for a large part of my life with her, there's still 11 years of like my mom that she has before I got there, right? So when my mom passed away, my sister had my entire life at that point, plus 11 years, right? And so that's Tywin in comparison to his younger brothers and younger sisters. Like, you've had all of this time to see what's going on with House Lannister, to see how you guys have fallen, to see that you're in a position of weakness, to see that you need to gain strength, to see what you need to do to gain strength, to gain that strength, to like, he's been there long, and you know what I'm saying? So I think that when you're younger and you're seeing all those happen, you kind of like, whatever, I'm straight. Like, I don't really need to be an overachiever. I don't really need to be someone out here that's trying to completely break the mold, because I have someone that's going to take I have someone that's going to make sure that they take care of the family. So I think that was the thing with both Tig and with Gerion. I think that Tig's attachment to Tyrion was probably I'm not gonna say precipitated, but I'm gonna say that his attachment to Tyrion is probably also related to his dislike of his brother. You know, in that where it's like, I've had to look up to you my entire life, and you are the end all be all of everything. But I'm a person too, and I don't necessarily have to do the shit you want me to do, but I can be able to do whatever I want to do and live my life. And Tyrion's kind of like that too. Like, I just want to live my life. So there's that. I think that's all of them. Oh, and then Gerion, and I mean, y'all know what I already said what I felt about Gerion. Like, I'm sorry, like you're the baby, and because everybody else kind of has it together, you're like, fuck, I don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna be fucking reckless, and there you go. And that happened to him because he's reckless, and that's all I have to say.
Classic baby of the family attitude.
Yes.
Blase, I can do whatever because mom and dad are still gonna think I'm cute. Screw you, I get away with all of the things. And yeah, it seems Tyrion got away with all of the things.
He was no different than Renly.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
true enough.
Yeah,
he's a straight Renly. He's a straight blonde Renly. That's it.
Somebody in the chat, who was it? Scott McCloy said Kevan reminds me a lot of Blackfish. And I definitely see those parallels, but the only difference is Blackfish really had no fucks to give for anything Hoster was trying to say. Kevan was absolute number two. Tywin gives an order. He says, yes, sir, and goes about his business. Hoster tries to do some shit, and Blackfish is like, get the fuck away from me with that shit. You know who the fuck I am? I'm Blackfish. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's the only difference. But I do see the parallels, though, Scott. That's a good comparison.
I did want to do a caveat when you were doing a comparison between Kevan and Ned. The main caveat that I want to say is Kevan had Tywin for a very long time. So he had his older brother to kind of, for lack of a better term, mold him in a sense.
Exactly.
Because his father wasn't around.
And the brother didn't go and get fostered, like didn't go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Very true. Very true.
Like,
and Ned loses his brother fairly while they're still like, they're young men, but they're still young. And he loses, not only does he lose his brother, he loses his father and his brother at the same time. And he doesn't have time to process because for most of his formative years, like his teenage years, he's fostered away from Winterfell. So he didn't have a lot of that time that his brother had with their father, right? Because his brother was going to be the heir and he was going to be the number two. So he was sent away to be fostered, but it was probably with the prospect that his father was going to marry him off to somebody in the South anyway, or marry him to somebody in the North to foster some sort of an alliance because their father had some sort of an ambition. If you follow along with that Southern alliance, I don't know what to call it, but there's something called some Southern alliance that was going on from the time of the 9 Penny Kings. So if you go along with what that says, Ned would have probably been married off either to somebody in the South or to some other lordling in order to create some sort of an alliance. Because I think they were going to rise up against the Targaryens anyway. It just so happened that it happened a little bit later instead of sooner. Right? So anyways, so Ned didn't have that. He kind of had to fall into the role that he had out of necessity because his brother and his father got killed by Aerys. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have been a Kevan, for lack of a better term, because he would have been right up under his brother. He would have supported his brother. He would have, that's what he would have done. I think because of the fact that he didn't have his older brother, nor did he have his father, he was basically kind of left to whatever he was taught by Jon Arryn and whatever he was taught by his father, to use that as his guide into becoming the man that he eventually became. And I have a whole lot of other thoughts about Ned that I will save in another video with respect to Ned, but that's for a whole nother video.
Stark Brothers coming soon.
Okay. Yes. So I think that is the difference between him being the number 2 brother and Kevan being the number 2 brother. Because so by the time that Kevan steps into the role of being the eldest and only brother that's actually around, because Gerion is missing and Tig is dead and now Tywin is dead, he had already had the time to be molded by Tywin. And so he can naturally step in to follow. He had a blueprint. And all he had to do was just follow the blueprint, if that makes sense.
No, that is exactly what I was saying. He got the training that he was supposed to get. Absolutely.
Okay, so now that he steps in, he starts trying to bring order back into the realm after Tywin dies and Cersei is just effing everything up, right? And she gets arrested by the Faith, right? And so he's trying to put things in order. But like AK says, he is doing things a little bit too quickly. He's putting things back in order into the realm a little bit too quickly for Varys and Illyrio Mopatis's plans. So Varys makes the decision to take him out. But before that happens, if you read his epilogue chapter, we find out a lot of things that sets up for some of the things that we're going to get ready to see. If you read the Arianne, like it sets up a lot of things that we see in the Arianne chapters with respect to what's going on in the Stormlands, the whole thing with what's going on with what's going to happen with Cersei, what's going on in the Riverlands. So we get a lot of tidbits about what's happening. Edmure is a sloppy idiot for his heart. Right. We get a lot of what's happening. So what do you think about how let's talk with the first thing that he addresses. What do you think about how he addresses everything that's happening in the Stormland? Because he hears that there are that there is a company or something is happening in the Stormlands where there is some sort of an invasion. And he kind of like downplays it. Why do you think that is? If any of y'all are here to answer that. None of them are here. I'll put it to the chat. Why do you think that is? Why is he downplaying what it is that he's hearing in what's going on in the Stormlands? Because by that time, I believe Fagon and the Golden Company has landed in the Stormlands, and they do hear about it, but they downplay it. It's kind of like how Tywin downplays when he hears that the Ironborn are creeping up on Old Town. Like Tywin kind of downplays that. Why do you think he does that? Anybody in the chats?
Okay, I am back.
Yeah, I was all by myself. They left me hanging. It's all good.
I am so sorry. I had to go and release my bladder. Ugh.
It's all good. I posed the question to the chat.
Yes, where are we right now?
My question was, when he hears about what's going on in the Stormlands, because by this time the Golden Company have landed in the Stormlands and they're starting to wreck shop, right? but he downplays it, kind of like how Tywin downplayed when he heard that the Iron Board was coming up, was taking over stuff over in the in Old Town, right? Or invading some of those port areas. Tywin kind of downplayed that. Kevan downplays what he hears is happening in the Stormlands. And I'm asking, why do you think he would do that? Why wouldn't he take that seriously?
Because I don't think he's in an extremely strong enough position to do that just yet. And I think, I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like, you know, in certain situations, you kind of have to downplay some things to make sure that you can still get people to move the way you want them to move. If he would have given that more shine than he did, there's a whole other extra set of cans of worms that would have opened up that might have been a bit too overwhelming for his forces at the time. So that's the only way I see it. Very short. Lady D, go ahead.
I agree. I think that personally, I think the reason why he didn't do anything is because first he screwed up so bad with Orain Waters. You ain't got no navy, bro. Like, how you gonna get to the storm? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, go on land and throw rocks at these fools? Like, you ain't got no navy, bro. You don't. So what are you going to do? He has no choice but to sit there and take it. Like, so he can just pretend like, oh, this doesn't bother me. This is fine, and pull an Olaf. This is fine. Everything is fine. This is fine, but it's not. It's not fine. Orain got them.
Orain straight played Cersei. Like,
can you blame him though? Can you blame him? Come on, man. You got the freaking thought of King's Landing, really thinking that she was running shit.
Listen, if y'all have not lately done it, I would highly recommend that y'all go and read all of the Cersei chapters in A Feast for Crows. I promise you, if you read them, you will get a laugh. I promise I giggled every single time I read her chapters. Like, she had some valid points in a lot of the things that was going on in her chapters, but some of the things that some of her internal thoughts and some of the things that she would say out loud, it was just funny. I just got a giggle out of it. It was just, but mostly her internal thoughts.
She be wearing them petty boots all season. Them petty boots, and you know they're crafted so well to fit her feet. You know, like they're tempered in salt. That's the level of Cersei's pettiness. All salt. No actual game though.
None. I have a question. So why do you think that Kevan didn't? What's the word I'm looking for? Why do you think he didn't argue more for her when they said that she had to do the penitent walk, the walk of shame? Why didn't he speak up more? I know that Cersei.
But probably because I'm probably wrong, but he is, you know, that uncle looking at his niece like, bitch, if you don't sit your punk ass the fuck down, do you see the other shit that we got to deal with over here? Sit down in the corner and shut the fuck up. Pops ain't there no more. This was his, okay, I gotta now put you over my knee and spank you because your dad never did and he should have. So I mean, it might be embarrassing, you know, it's a couple minutes you might have to deal with some shit, you might cry, but you be all right. Maybe this will make you wiser.
I'm feeling like it's because like we were talking about, he's a number two. He grew up as number two. He's support. So yes, he's strong enough to hold it down when he has direction from support, but not when you have nobody and it's just you out here and now you have to be Tywin. Like, Tywin is the most like meticulous, conniving person. Like, how are you expecting this person to just slide in there? You know, 1 and 2. Cersei, like, come on, man. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but you can look at them kids. Uncle Kevin can look at them kids like, oh, dang, I ain't never seen a Baratheon with blonde hair, bro. Like,
I've never. Never.
The whole time. Like, I'm like 60. I've never seen a Baratheon with blonde hair, bro. Not once, not one time, not a picture on the wall. I've been to Storm's End. I've seen the portraits. I have not seen anybody with blonde hair, not once. And these kids look exactly like you and your brother. I can't help but notice that I also received a letter from Stannis that said that these kids was bastards. And they
whole motherfucking realm. You got us put on blast to the whole realm, bitch. Go sit down.
So
I can't physically put my hand on you, so I'm gonna let this thing happen to teach you some humility.
It's not even that. It's that he's not Tywin. So in his mind, he's like, well, what do I have? I have to do whatever I can to keep things cool. I mess around and be like, nah, give me my niece back. They're gonna be like, she got bastards. What I'm gonna say? No, she doesn't. They'll storm the castle. They'll be like, yes, she does.
I think a part of him was kind of feeling petty too because of Lancel, because you know she slept with Lancel.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know, Kevin heard that rumor. You know he did, and now what is his punk ass son doing? He on some extra other shit. So Uncle Kevin is mad. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, and I'm here for it. I'm sorry, his is a brand of petty I can get behind.
I mean, like it is. He wasn't strong enough, and yeah, he definitely has a reason. He has a reason to be petty, but I don't think the pettiness is why he let her stay there. Because at the end of the day, it's a Lannister. You see what I'm saying? Like, you'll do whatever you got to do for the Lannister name, even if you lock that broad up in the tower and be like, "Ooh, I can't stand you. You screwed my son, and I got the power now. Hold sit here." But you wouldn't want everybody in the realm knowing that she's locked up. She locked up. That's because you can't get her out. Like, you know what I'm saying? She locked up. She's rich. Like, think about it in our world, y'all. It's a rich white woman. They locked up a rich white woman, and their family can't do nothing about it. It's like, just be quiet. I guess you have to sit there like,
yeah.
I don't know. So that's her. She got to deal.
And I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt real quick because the tiny wildling is making herself known to the realm right now, and I'm freaking loving hearing her in the background. Seriously, and this is the child of professional diligence, y'all. Do you know when as soon as that girl like really starts talking, the cool shit that's gonna come out of her mouth? I can't wait. I hope I'm around to hear it. I really do.
You'll be around. She says cool stuff now. I gotta get y'all. She talks. She talks a little now. She does cool things. It's cool. You can have conversations with Sinai now, and she's like talking back to you. And some of it is just
that's what's up.
But some of it's real words.
You know, she got to throw a word in there every so often to throw, you know what I mean? So that you know that, listen, I know what you're talking about.
You know, it's like, damn it, what's his name? When Kevin Hart was talking about his daughter and she had asked him for some juice and, you know, moms had vetoed getting the juice and the little girl looked at him and just started going off into all types of baby speak and waving her hand and her cup about, and the one word she said was juice. And basically it deciphered to, okay, motherfucker, I know I'm cussing you out. I don't have the English words to let it be known, but he could tell his daughter is cussing him the hell out right now about this damn juice.
That's exactly how it happens. It's like, Elmo. It's like, okay, Elmo, got it.
Yo, random sidebar, seriously, if you have tiny humans in your life and they're like just now really starting to get sounds and words out, put them next to their friend and then just sit and watch the magic. It is dinner and a show every time. I remember this day, my little sister on my mom's side and one of my little cousins, one was sitting in the crib, another one was sitting on the floor or in the playpen or something, and they were having the most serious conversation I've ever seen 1-year-olds have. I don't know what it was about, but it basically looked like, you know, when two old grandmas are like just sitting on the porch talking shit about people. That's what it looked like they was doing, pointing at everybody in the room at different intervals. Like, well, what the freak language are y'all speaking? I want to end on the conversation too, because this looks like some petty nonsense, and I'm here for it. But yeah, tiny human sidebar. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
All good, all good. Tiny humans always have a special place here on the channel because, you know, Naro love the kids. She do. She love the kids. Yes, she do. So, okay. I'm going to wrap up the conversation with Kevan. So we know he's going to end up biting the dust, right? So what are some things that you think Cersei is going to do once she finds out that her uncle has bit both her uncle and Pycelle have both bit the dust? What are some things that you think that she will do in the aftermath of that? Because we get a little bit of some inkling in some of the preview chapters. Again, the Arion chapters kind of gives kind of like a preview of some things. And there is another preview and the Mercy chapter kind of gives you a little bit of some of the things that Cersei might be doing. Okay, so what are some things that what are some of the aftermath of that you think will happen with respect to Kevan now being dead? AK?
I think there's about to be a bunch of shenanigans. Everything that we saw on the show is not going to happen in the way we saw it happen, but I fully believe, Cersei is going to get her hooks in there. And, you got to remember, Tommen is a lot younger in the books. So her taking the regency, I think, is extremely plausible. I see that coming. I see her send, I don't know who exactly she would send, but she would probably send a small contingent to try to go and find Myrcella and hopefully bring her home. She's going to do whatever she can to keep a lock on Tommen completely, to the point to where, it might again get to what we saw on the show when she thought she was about to lose. She was going to poison the baby and then poison herself before, any real bad stuff happened. But it's a gamble though, because Cersei at some points she can be a wild card. You don't know exactly what she's going to do, and at this point we know she is drinking very heavily and she's already paranoid and whatnot, probably has PTSD and all that extra now. And when you put all of that in the mind that was already, half Mad King screwed up, the shenanigans will ensue. That's all I can say. I can't pinpoint everything that she might do, but it will be shenanigans, and I'm probably going to want to stab her in the face even more by the end of it all. But that's the story. Yeah.
So y'all gotta, Tiny Wiley baptized. But
yeah, she said Tiny Wiley, yes, I am here.
They can hear you. They can hear you. Okay, so this is bath time fun here. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember the question. I am now just, what am I talking about?
Oh, I was saying, what do you think will be the aftermath with respect to what do you think Cersei will do in the wake of both Kevan and Pycelle dying?
Cersei is going to want to do things, y'all, but Cersei's not going to be able to do shit. Cersei is going to want to get Myrcella or whatever, but Cersei is forgetting that Cersei isn't the queen anymore. You are the king's mother. You are not the queen. You are the queen dowager. The queen of Westeros is on Dragonstone right now. Marjorie Tyrell is on Dragonstone. Did you forget? As soon as they find out that Kevan has gone, they're coming back in there with her brother, who probably is not even nearly as injured as they lied about. Like, they're about to just roll back in there and be like, okay, broad, it is what it is, and probably throw Cersei in the tower. And yeah, she's going to be doing things here and there, but the reality is the King's Guard technically is not yours anymore. You are not the queen anymore. She has to recognize and understand that. And the only reason that you still feel like you have some semblance of queenliness or whatever after your ordeal with the church is because you're the only person in the castle. If Marjorie was there, you would feel like, oh shit, I'm not the queen. And let's not forget, Marjorie got let out first. Broad, you are literally not even priority. I think that what's going to happen.
That's true.
Is that she is going to end up alienated in the Red Keep, and she's going to try to gain influence, but there is no one left. Jamie was her last whatever, like, please come save me. Da, da, da. He ain't having it. Kettle Boy moved, that was it. So I think that at this point, the most she can hope for is to get her hooks in the Tommen. But if I know anything about boys, as soon as he slips his hook into something else, that's it. It's a wrap. So good luck with that, Cersei. So I really don't know what she's gonna do. That Orain Waters, that was a fail. Like, she has no men, she has no money, and she has no power. She has no clout. So I think that we're about to see her become Sansa.
Well, I have to say, I don't know. Well, I'll leave that for another day. I'll leave that comment for another day. But
Scott just said something good in the chat. So that'll probably be the catalyst for Tyrells to switch to Fagon, in my opinion. And that's a very good thought. And that's if what's her name? What is it? Alicent? Arianne. If she doesn't, get into Fagon's head well enough, get her hooks built in for House Martell, it's a very, very plausible that House Tyrell will swoop in there, because they don't have the big green wildfire death right now. They can very much go over there, hook up with him. I mean, it's really just Renly all over again.
Not really popular guy. She's married now. They can't, before with the Renly thing, she wasn't married. Now she is married to King Tommen the First. So you can't go to Fagon and be like, oh, let's make a deal, let's get married. Bron, you are married to the King of Westeros.
Tommen's a child, though.
He's still the King of Westeros.
They can get around that.
And you also have to remember that Dorne and Tyrells don't get along. They don't get along. So they wouldn't be quick to come together against Cersei, because the Tyrell in and of themselves, they're just looking to be in a position of power, and them trying to go over Fagon's side probably wouldn't work for them. You know what I mean? It really wouldn't put them in a position with power, because Fagon is trying to wait for Daenerys. He's not trying to marry somebody else. And
is he supposed to be for her, though?
Well, I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, that's the plan. The plan is he is supposed to be waiting for Daenerys. That is the plan. But I don't see that happening anyway. I mean, there are too many opposing forces that will allow that plan to go through fruition.
And also, actually, some folks are saying in the chat, has the marriage between Marjorie and Tommen actually been done, or are they only betrothed right now? Because I
don't think they're married yet.
He's only like 8 or 9.
I don't think they're married in the books.
You can get around a betrothal.
But she was married to the king before he died.
She was married to the
actual king before he died.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things that are going on, because at the time that Kevan dies, Fagon has already invaded, the Golden Company and Fagon are already in the Stormlands. They've already taken a few keeps and whatnot, right? So that all is going on, right? And then you have everything that's going on in the Riverlands, right? Because there is a secret uprising that's going on in the Riverlands, right? And then you have everything that's going up in the north. So I don't know how much power Cersei is going to be able to wield, or how long it's going to last. I do have it might very well be that she may end up offing both herself and her son, because I don't see Myrcella making it out of Dorne.
They will never let her, as soon as Marjorie and the Tyrells make it back to King's Landing, they will never let her within sniffing distance of that boy again. She's not going to get a chance to kill Tommen unless she does it before the Tyrells, because otherwise she's not going to get with it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Well, he's going to have to die somehow. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's the one, she ends up offing both herself and him to prevent any of that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because without Tommen, she's a dead woman walking anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Tommen is nobody's protection right now. King doesn't matter. Kevan was his regent, so he's really not even all the way on the throne just yet. There's just about to be some more chaos, and we have to see where all the many moving parts go.
I think they're gonna kill Tom and being a bastard. I think they're gonna find out he's a bastard and kill him.
And also remember, when you read the Mercy chapter, there's a delegation over there trying to make some sort of deal with the Iron Bank to get money.
Right. That's right.
Go through that if you like. I would have a doc if you want.
Sarah, here come Black Wildling. Speaking of the Iron Bank,
So we gotta save that for your channel and to dive deep into that, because that's a whole conversation. That's a whole topic all by itself. That whole Iron Bank situation. Yeah. That is because there's different moving parts that are happening, right? Because in the Mercy chapter, there's a delegation there. I think it's Harold Swift. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's Kevin's father-in-law, isn't it?
I think
he sent his good father and some people over to talk to.
Because he's there with Rasta Sweetling, the one that Arya killed.
Harris Swift. Yeah.
So he's over there trying to negotiate to get some money for them. Who sent him there? Who sent him? Because this has to be after. It has to be either just before Kevan dies, or it has to be after Kevan dies. After Kevan dies, somebody sent him over there.
No, it was just before. Like I'm looking on the wiki right now. It said Kevan sent his good father to Braavos to negotiate the crown's financial problems. So not only is he tasked with trying to negotiate the loans that are already been called in by the Iron Bank, but he's also trying to get a new loan to help seriously secure them again in King's Landing. I don't think he's going to be successful in either one of those things.
I don't think the Iron Bank is going to do it because they're going to fund Stannis and the North.
Yeah, they're putting their investments elsewhere already, and we know that because, like Professor Diligent said, we have a maybe not faceless man that's representing the Iron Bank right now, going through and talking to these other would-be leaders. So we're going to see, I think, some good payoffs come the Winds of Winter when it comes to the Iron Bank moving behind the shadows. They move more shifty than freaking Varys does. Another connection to them in the House of Black and White. That's all I'm saying.
They recognize as people who are descendants of slaves, they recognize that economic security is key security. Being able to impact the world's dollars is what is going to give you physical security. They recognize that. And I actually think that's one of the keyest things about this world is that George gave us a society of slaves who emancipated themselves, didn't want nothing to do with anybody else, and then basically took over the world with what they used to be, which is money. Like, right, the transatlantic slave trade, and here in America, Black people were money. So when I look at that, I always think of Braavos. Like, those Braavosi understand that their children, their mothers, their fathers themselves were currency to the people who, quote, owned them. And so now they're in control of all of this money, which is their people. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they understand it. They understand, they have a 3-tier system where they understand that. Like, money keeps us out of enslavement. Money keeps us free. So we're going to worship that.
Indeed.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
That is it. That is it for the old school Lannister boys.
Yeah. Like we got an opportunity to kind of do a little bit, not a deep dive, but kind of do like a summary and revisit the older Lannister boys. The next one that we're gonna do is gonna be Jaime and Tyrion. I think they each gonna have their own separate videos. We're gonna probably do Jaime, and then we'll do Tyrion.
And also, you know, in the spirits of my sister Taryn that could not be here this evening. Jamie is a golden dumbass, and he needs to sit the fuck down. Just like Jorah, he needs to stop touching shit.
Well, he can't touch nothing. You only got one hand, though.
He only two hands to touch stuff.
He elbowing. Or he's stubborn. He's stubborn. He's stubborn.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Damn, we going to all 7 hells for that, y'all.
Well, I'm not the one that cut his hand off, so.
Oh man. So yeah. And actually, again, just to go into the plugs since we're wrapping up. I said, me and Robert from Indie Geek, we talked a little bit more about the Iron Bank, and actually, Lady D, like we shouted you out a couple times on that stream because I told him before we got started when he said the Iron Bank, I almost wanted to tell him you should maybe put that subject to Lady D because she has some super in-depth insight about that with the theories. So he is very intrigued. At some point in time, I don't know when, but I'm gonna have him on my channel as well. We're gonna talk about Sithorios and Yin and some things that might have gone on down there. So look forward to that, por favor. Me and Nessie will be talking about some sphinxes, and not just sphinxes as it relates to this story, but just in mythology in general. Look out for that. Set your notifications to her channel. Citadel Trivia will be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I believe. It'll be me, Chrissy, Ben, and Felicia with the 52 pickup. Ginger ale on Saturday nights. Make sure your mugs are cold and the ginger ale is popping because y'all know how we go in. Let's see. Did I forget something? No, I think at this moment that's it. I know. The true Azora hype, Dawn of Ice and Fire, is back on the scene. So hopefully we'll be collabing with him coming up soon. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Special shout out to Joe Magician and Girls Gone Canon for the great shout outs and kind words that they gave to me and the ladies a couple weeks ago. Appreciate that you guys love our stuff. I love all you guys' stuff too. So keep putting that great content out there so we can keep collaborating and hyping each other up. It's a community. We all need to look out for each other because the world right now is really fucked. And I really enjoy that we can come together as nerds and talk about this awesome shit. So let's keep that going. Be positive, people, please.
Lady D.
So, guys, thanks for joining us. Honestly and truly, if I'm trying to see who all works from home and like what y'all do during the morning, because maybe mornings are the way to go. Maybe I do a stream in the morning, like before work, warm up. Listen to some Lady D while you work out or something. I might do that because I don't know. I gotta figure out something else between mini waddling over here in life. Like, she needs some more hours in the day, bro. So I don't know. So Stannis 2 is coming up. The full Iron Bank theory, that read through is coming up as well. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I will probably just record them or just do a live stream tomorrow or something and just read them and then schedule actual time with the girls to go through so that we can answer questions and actually have discussion. Because what I'm realizing is because the theories are so long and ridiculous, because that's just how my brain works, it's probably better to just get all the information out there and then talk about it instead of going piece by piece like that. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Yeah, I second that again. And I did also want to shout out a few more people. Gray Area and Tony Teflon. They have always been really great supporters of us as a group. And I hope they know how much that we support them as well. So, and also, me and Greg will be talking about Arya at some point in time. Look forward to that, people. You don't want to miss it.
And with that, I just want to thank everybody who came through to hang out with us this evening. Thank you for spending some time with us because these streams are only possible, then they're only great when you guys are here. So without you guys, these streams are just like, they're not worth a damn. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and hang out with us and kiki and talk, just talk with us about this great book. I want to thank my girls for coming through and spending some time with me and nerding out over it. Shout out to T Baby who wasn't able to make it, but I'm sure she'll be here the next time around. Look out for Ginger Ale Chat on Saturday. Look out for Expanse Season 3 on Sunday. And look out for movie night and pizza and movie night next Friday evening. I may have some things coming up in the future. I don't know yet. So I'll put it out as it comes along. But for right now, those are the things that I would like to put out. I think I made all of my shout outs already in the beginning. If you happen to be watching this on a replay, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section, and then we'll try to answer them next time we do the Lannister brothers. Or if you just want to shout us out, please be sure to leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe to our channels. They're all listed in the links. And there are also some other links in there that I hope that you will check out. I also want to make a shameless plug for my goddaughter who has a little store. She sells lip balm and body creams. She's 7 years old and she's her own little entrepreneur. And if you would support by at least buying one item, I would consider it a favor, and I would truly appreciate you supporting her little business and encourage more little entrepreneurs. I think that's it.
Yes, hey, that's how you build the family wealth, man. You start them when they're young. Baby girl's already got a good business sense on it. I like it. I like it.
So yeah, hopefully another shameless thing that I want to put out, and I want to put out into the atmosphere. I'm trying to convince T Baby to start doing trashy mangas on her channel, because her and I've already had a love for them, and I kind of I don't feel bad about it. Like, I put her onto mangas, and I don't feel bad that she's obsessed with them, because I am obsessed with mangas, and I also want to talk about mangas, but a little bit at a time. I'm like, I don't want to go full nerd on y'all too much, okay? So we're just gonna take it we're gonna take it slow, and we're gonna just do a little bit at a time. So for now, yeah, that's everything that we have coming up. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the week. And we'll see you tomorrow for for trivia, right? Trivia at 8 o'clock?
So trivia, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for that. Bye, everybody.
Wakanda